Okay, I was asked by a YouTube viewer if I would do a tutorial on my setup for my battery system on my boat. Well, what I use here is I use a Pelican 1200 series case. It fits smoothly into the lower storing bay down there. In it, I have two of these standard, I think they're like a 4x2x8 battery, and then I have a 4x4x8 battery. I hope I got those measurements right, I can't remember. But the way I wired them is I just simply drill some holes. Let's go over here and show you. I drill a couple of holes and I use some 1/4 inch screws that went through the side there. They got a little bit of rust damage on them. But I would tighten them on the back side with like a little bit of marine goop to keep them from leaking water into the case, and that worked really good. I probably need to exchange these for stainless steel so they don't corrode so badly. Sorry about all the ash on my arms there. It's cold, it's dry. That's what black people do when it gets cold and dry. Should have put lotion on. But anyway, that's the way the battery system that I have in here works. This one right here is dedicated to the fish finder, which is a Lawrence Hook 5, and out of that I can get over 16 hours of straight time running my fish finder. Pretty impressed with that. And these right here will run my lights that I have rigged up over here. It'll run my night lights, my floodlights. It'll run them again about 16 to 20 hours, because those don't use any more than 3 amps collectively. And then the LEDs on the side here don't use any more than, I think they have like a 2 amp draw. I'm not really sure. But this right here is the battery system that I'm using. It works very well, and hopefully I've helped y'all to develop an idea around it. Oh, let me show you this. It takes a little bit of coercing to get it in there. When you are installing this battery system, and you slip it off into the deck, a couple things you have to do is you have to fold down that handle. It fits right here inside the chute. It's almost perfect for that. And you move all your cushions out of the way, and you will slide it across the back side over here. Then you take it inside the hole further off to the right side of the boat, and then you can pull it over here. Yeah, a little bit of effort, and it'll usually stay right here. It'll stay put. I have these little connectors on the end for my power wires right here as well too. That's the fish finder with the little fuse on it. I need to put a fuse on my LED lights. I haven't done that, I've been lazy. But it fits up in there. It's really nice. It's very compact. It's very waterproof. And oh, you know what, I never showed you my fog lights. That's my brother Centra over there. He needs help. We'll worry about that later. But these fog lights were just a couple of set of cheap LEDs, like the douchebags like to put on the front of the trucks. I'm a douchebag with a truck, so I'm familiar with them. Got a 2005 Dodge Ram. Holla. I used some of these weather-tight connectors, right, which they screw apart real easy. And take a little effort there. Pop. And I put a little bit of electrical gel there to make sure that water didn't get up in those connections and ruin the brass. But all I did to hook up the 6 wires, is I just paired them up, negative and positive, and I just soldered them all together, which I can show you over here how it's wired in. Everything's wired into a single switch right here. This switch. Put this out of the way. To this switch right here. That right there is what turns on the lights. It turns on both the floodlights and it turns on the LEDs simultaneously. Get this out of the way. Hopefully I have enough juice for this. Get this out of the way. I'm gonna organize this anyways, full of nasty fish shit. These were a good idea until I realized the salt would knock them straight off the hull, so they're just there for show. But you can see right here, just like I said, bought one of these little generic wires. They don't cost any more than like 30 bucks at your local O'Reilly's or whatever. And these are just extension cables for LEDs on the trucks. They're made to run multiple, lights and stuff, so you got more than enough busway for your amperage load. I just wired them in there. It's got a single 5 amp fuse. I did wire in a fuse to run both the LEDs and the floodlights, and I just pretty much stuck that through there. I just drilled that and put a grommet. I know there's a proper connector for that, but I was lazy, This right here is drilled and it's run inside of the stand-up bar. It looks nicer than what it is. It's actually pretty crudely wired on the inside. A couple of holes there to keep the wires out of the way. And this is where I stow my Premier sound system, so I've got tunes out at sea. But there we go. For anybody that wanted to know, that is how I wired up the electrical system in my kayak. It has worked beautifully, and I think that I may go ahead and run jumpers to either one of those connectors so that all the batteries are connected together simultaneously. Then I could just use this plug right here to charge the whole thing without having to go in here with this poor bastard dog chewed on it. It works. But yeah, there you go. Also, if you have any questions about the way I rigged the AMA, feel free to ask me. I can give you some measurements, but I've got it sitting on my Pro Angler. It works really, really bloody well on the open ocean. I've been out about 10 miles offshore, and even on turbulent seas, it was steady enough for all 6'10" of my 300-pound large ass to stand up. So I'm pretty happy with the whole setup. If you decide to do something similar, then have a little bit of faith, because it can be done. Alright, that's it. Later on, YouTubes. Sorry about this red eye here. I've been looking crazy for the last 2 weeks or so. Don't know what's wrong with it. But, yep. There we go. Bye.